going to go ahead. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Candidates Debate for the riding of Kanata-Carleton, presented by the Huntley Community Association. My name's Steve Fay. I'm the Zoom host for the meeting. In a moment, I'll ask Alan to take over, but there's a few technical announcements to make first. First, the meeting will be presented in a webinar-style format. You will not be able to turn your camera or your microphone on during the meeting. Only the moderator and the candidates will have camera capability. For the best Zoom experience, we recommend you set your view to speaker mode by clicking on the word view in the top right corner of your Zoom screen. Then select speaker. In this mode, the image of the person currently speaking will be larger on your screen. Zoom chat messages can be entered and will be viewable by the candidates. However, we will not be able to discuss questions submitted through chat during the meeting. If you are using Zoom to attend the meeting, a notice may appear on your screen saying it is being live streamed to YouTube. Please do not click that notice to start your YouTube stream on your computer, as it can cause technical issues with the live Zoom meeting. And to the candidates especially, you have the ability to turn your microphone and camera on and off. We recommend you keep your microphone muted when you're not speaking to avoid extra noise on the audio feed. If you have a reasonably good internet connection, we do recommend you turn your camera on, especially while you're speaking. Thank you. I think that's about it, and I'll hand things over to your moderator, Alan Joyner.
Thank you, Steve. I think our Huntley Community Association President, Judy Macon, wanted to just say a few words to everyone.
Hi folks, it's Judy here. I just want to welcome you all and thank you for attending. Al is going to be moderating the debate. He's gathered some questions, I assume. And let me turn my video on. Yeah, Al will be our moderator. Steve is also a director with the Community Association. He is behind the scenes. I'm going to be doing the timing, so if you hear my little voice, I will let you know when you have 15 seconds remaining. So I'm going to turn it back to Al.
Thank you, Judy. Yeah, so I have to echo her welcome. Welcome, everyone. Really glad you're here. The way we're going to do this tonight, it's not the kind of give and take debate that we normally see out here, but we're hoping to get some good commentary from each of you so that people can sort of get a sense of who you are, your understanding of the concerns out here in the rural area, and kind of how you might consider representing us if you are the successful candidate in the upcoming election. You'll have 2 minutes each for an opening statement, and then when we get to the questions, there'll be 2 minutes for each person to answer. We'll go through all 5 of you, and then each of you will have 30 seconds for a quick rebuttal. The way that we'll work the order is that I have a list of people in order that I did very randomly. It's Jennifer Purdy, Jenna Suds, Melissa Conrad, Jennifer McAndrew, and Scott Miller. That's the order that they're in on paper here. What I'll get each of you to do, I have a list of numbered questions that Judy has as well. So Jennifer will be the first one. So for example, Jennifer, will ask you which question number you want to start with. So it's kind of random which question you get. And for those watching, the candidates have not seen questions at all. So you just pick the question, and each person in order will get their 2 minutes, and then we'll go back through the rebuttals in that same order. For the second one, Jenna, who is second on our list here, would get to choose which question, and she would be the first one to answer in that round. So everybody gets a chance to be the first, and everybody gets a chance to be the last. So there's 5 main questions. It was interesting, there were a lot related to the environment, probably 3 to 1 in terms of numbers for questions about the environment. There's the ones that you will get. There were a few outliers. One resident wanted to know about your feelings about how issues around the falling gong could be addressed. One wanted to ask whether each of you and your families had been vaccinated, and of course, interesting question, which we wouldn't expect any of you would have to answer or be expected to answer. And that was pretty much the, in addition to the ones that we are going to ask and you will see tonight, that was sort of the range of things that we went across. But I think they represent the concerns out here pretty well. So let's get started. So first, I'll ask Jennifer Purdy from the Green Party to introduce herself and use her 2 minutes to address you.
Okay, thank you very much, Alan. So hello, good evening to everyone. I'm Jen Purdy. I'm representing the Green Party. I'm a medical doctor, a 23-year veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces, a small business owner, and a farmer. I'm a member of the OFA and have been since 2017. As a leader, I've led people in the military, and I also led medical teams. I grew up in Canada and went away to go to university. I joined the military and served across the country. In 2015, I was posted back to Ottawa, and at that point, my spouse, Bill Whalen, and we bought a farm in Dunrobin. In 2018, I retired from the military and I opened my own practice here in Canada. The timing of this election is very unfortunate. We are experiencing the fourth wave of the pandemic. Parents and educators are worried and concerned about school starting, and the election was called even though Kabul was under attack, and this resulted in broken promises and lives lost. But here we are. So the silver lining that I see with this election is that it gives us an opportunity to make a choice and for us to reset our plans as a nation. We can see the effects climate change is having on our community more and more, especially this summer. Air quality readings in Canada Carleton and especially around CARP have been even worse in downtown Ottawa. We've also had very uneven weather that has affected crops with late frost and quite a bit of drought. We have also seen the significant inequity that exists in our society, and this was seen even more clearly because of the pandemic. You may not have voted Green before, but please vote for me, Jen Purdy. We have had conservative MPs and we've had Liberal MPs. If they had the answers and the political will, we should not be where we are now, with climate change worsening and with vulnerable people largely ignored in our society. Your vote for me will make a difference because I'll be only working for Canada Carleton, not for a party, not for large corporations. We have an opportunity to take a positive, assertive approach to climate change. And at the same time, we can do a much better job of taking care of people, of everyone.
15
I am
minutes.
the most qualified, 15 seconds?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm the most qualified candidate here. And as a doctor and as a veteran, clearly I can best serve Canada Carleton. I'm the only candidate here who's free of party constraints and who will truly represent your interests. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Jennifer. That's Jennifer Purdy from the Green Party of Canada. Next to speak is the second person on our list. That's Jenna Suds from the Liberal Party.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight to debate the issues that matter most to you. As mentioned, my name's Jenna Suds, and I'm running to be your federal advocate and voice for Canada Carleton. Strong rural representation matters. For over 10 years, I called the rural part of our riding my home. I've raised my 3 daughters on well water and narrowly escaped the path of the tornado, and dealt with unstable internet before moving into town, quote unquote, earlier this year. I was and remain an advocate and champion for local farmers markets to provide support to our fantastic growers and producers as we emerge from this post-COVID world. As your local member of parliament, I will work to create jobs, help farmers, support our villages, and ensure critical infrastructure like reliable broadband internet becomes the norm. Over the past 3 years as your deputy mayor and the city councillor for Canada North, I've worked tirelessly to better the lives of all residents in Ottawa, both urban and rural. I've worked closely with Councillor El Shantieri on a number of issues and spent countless days filling sandbags after the unfortunate flood. I've also supported the work of your CARP Village BIA over the years and cherished the new businesses that have come to call CARP home. I truly believe that reliable, high-speed internet connectivity has never been more important. And I'd like to acknowledge the work of Karen McCrimmon, who's made considerable progress on this plan that will see over 800 rural homes in Canada Carleton get access to high speed. We need to get the province to the table with their portion of the cost, but I hope to continue this work and get this project done. The plan's already in place, and I assure you that as your member of parliament, I will fight for every available dollar to ensure that all houses here are connected with high-speed internet. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. Next on our list, we have Melissa Conrad from the New Democratic Party.
Thank you. I'd first like to recognize that we are on the unceded and unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin and the Anishinaabe. I myself grew up in a very rural, small town and do understand the issues and concerns of the rural area. I now do live in Canada and understand also the issues of the city areas. So I think it's interesting that Canada Carleton is one of a handful of ridings that have the two difference, and we need to find a way to balance that out. I'm a healthcare worker. I'm a mom. I'm an average Canadian, just like all of you, and I've worked in the hospital through this pandemic and seen the cracks and the issues and the struggles in our healthcare system, the lack of mental health supports for children and families, and the increased volume of domestic violence in the city that has been really exacerbated with this pandemic and being confined to our homes for a great deal of the past 2 years. Internet has been a big issue in all areas, but more specifically in the rural areas. And I know that even on our team, we've had a great deal of people say, you know, my wife is a teacher and my children are both on the internet and we can't all do it from home. And it's not because they can't afford better internet, it's because it's simply not available, and that's unacceptable. We need to get that out there. And so the NDP really, their goal in this election is to get family supports and make life more affordable immediately for people, offering affordable housing, $5,000 for renters to pay back rent, get back on their feet, have a little breathing room, $10 a day childcare that's more accessible because childcare is hard to find, and pharmacare and a great deal of other things to implement immediately to make life a little easier for families. So tonight I will demonstrate that the NDP is not only the best party for Canada Carleton, but really the only party that's going to have the courage to do what it takes to bring us out of this pandemic.
Thank you very much. The next on our list is Jennifer McAndrew from the Conservative Party.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to join you virtually this evening. Fingers crossed here that my internet service is reliable. I'm joining you from my warehouse on Carp Road, and every now and then it's hit and miss like many of you are experiencing. As I said, my name is Jennifer McAndrew. I am the Conservative candidate for the Canada Carleton riding. I'm fortunate to have deep roots here in Canada Carleton. I grew up in Beaverbrook, bought my first home in Glencairn, started my business in Morgan's Grant, and now I'm raising my 2 children here in Carp. I love being able to give back to our community and get involved however I can. I'm on the faculty at the West Carleton School of Performing Arts, where I get to teach ballet to kids. I'm a board member for both the Dave Smith Youth Treatment Center and the West Carleton Minor Hockey Association. I am proud of the work I have done to support the numerous fundraising campaigns in the community, things that benefit youth hockey, fine arts, and the Canada Food Bank. In 2007, my husband and I started our business part-time in our garage in Morgan's Grant. Before the pandemic hit in 2020, we were steadily growing. It was awesome. Now, like so many hard-hit sectors, we're struggling to find staff to fill those available openings. I can truly say that I understand the struggles of small business, especially over the last 2 years, because I have lived it. I know what it takes to meet payroll, and I know what it's like to have your alarm go off at 4:25 a.m. every day so you can get up, get to work, and get things done. I experienced firsthand the ineffective support for small business in the Liberal government's response to the pandemic. This made me realize I could either sit back and watch or step up and work for change. Obviously, I chose the second option, so I've put my name forward, did the hard work to win the nomination, and now I've become your Conservative candidate. I just wanted to thank our rural community and Black Barn Livestock for inviting me to meet with members of our farming community in person last week. I really appreciated hearing firsthand some of the challenges currently facing our rural community. I look forward to creating an agricultural roundtable for Canada Carleton so I can continue to hear your issues, the most important issues from our farmers directly. The Conservatives are the best party to secure your future. Let's get to work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the last person to speak in this round is Scott Miller from the People's Party of Canada.